The Archaeological Survey of India maintains a strict legal mandate for the Bhangarh Fort in Rajasthan. Before the sun sets, every visitor is required to leave. The government officially prohibits anyone from remaining inside these walls after dark. To understand why, you have to look at the sheer scale of the ruins. This was once a sprawling, wealthy city of over 9,000 homes. Today, every single structure stands completely exposed. There is not a single roof left intact. Local lore offers a dark explanation for this. A sorcerer named Tantric Singya supposedly cast a dying curse on the city's ruler, Princess Ratnavati. According to the legend, his spell doomed the entire population to death and trapped their souls within the stone. Modern trespassers who break the curfew often return with terrifying stories. One tour guide trapped inside after dark reported being relentlessly chased through the ruins by a weeping woman wearing a chilling frozen smile. Others bring back what they claim is physical proof. A group of college students who sneaked in at night dropped a sealed bag of sweets in their panic. When retrieved, the box was entirely flattened. The heavy sweets were crushed to a pulp inside the closed zipper, as if trampled by unseen feet. Bhangarh thrives on an overwhelming atmosphere of dread. As the light fades, the absolute isolation forces you to wonder what unseen entity actually controls the dark. The most consistent detail in every ghost story here is the sound. Tourists who linger near the gates at twilight frequently report hearing the distinct, harrowing cries of women screaming from the empty courtyards. But mapping the area reveals a crucial piece of geographic context. Bhangarh Fort rests directly on the border of the Sariska Tiger Reserve, over 800 square kilometers of dense, protected wilderness. The surrounding hills support a dense population of nocturnal predators, specifically striped hyenas, whose aggressive vocalizations naturally sound high-pitched and erratic. As animal cries travel from the hills and echo through the jagged, roofless stone corridors, the ruins' acoustics distort them. The physical environment strips away the natural origin of the sound, amplifying the pitch until it closely mimics a human scream in distress. The wailing ghosts of Bhangarh are actually apex predators hunting in the brush. The darkness is physically lethal. Still, visitors report physical symptoms that animals can't explain. Perfectly healthy people describe sudden cold sweats, extreme anxiety, and an intense feeling of being watched the moment the wind picks up. This chart shows the human hearing range compared to a scientific phenomenon called infrasound. These are massive, low-frequency sound waves that operate completely below the 20 Hz threshold of what our ears can actually hear. This ruined city functions like a massive, primitive wind instrument. As air currents force their way through the narrow gaps and sharp corners of 9,000 roofless buildings, the sheer scale of the physical interference creates large-scale atmospheric turbulence. These massive air movements oscillate at extremely low speeds, generating the invisible, high-energy ripples of infrasound. You can't hear these waves, but your nervous system physically feels them. The deep vibrations interact directly with your body, triggering an involuntary primal panic response that causes the exact physical symptoms of deep dread. Bhangarh operates as a massive natural fear engine. It weaponizes its own ruined architecture against the human nervous system. If the dread is just wind and the screams are just animals, why do terrified visitors consistently report seeing specific phantoms, like the tantric or the doomed princess? The answer lies in a psychological quirk called pareidolia. The human brain is an evolutionary pattern recognition machine. It is hardwired to find faces and human shapes, even in random, chaotic noise. Add in the danger of high suggestibility. Tourists arrive already primed by hours of terrifying internet lore. When their panicked brains scan the dark, they instantly stitch shifting tree shadows and broken pillars into the exact monsters they came expecting to see. Visitors arrive at the fort only to experience their own subconscious fears projected onto the ancient, crumbling stone. But a historical mystery remains. If black magic didn't destroy this thriving city of 9,000 homes, what actually wiped it off the map? The true killer is documented in historical records. In 1783, North India was hit by the Chalisa famine, an extreme and devastating drought that caused mass starvation across the region. Historical records indicate that the starving population stripped the timber from their own homes for fuel and resources as they fled the dying city. This mass abandonment left behind the roofless shells we see today. Knowing this clarifies the true purpose behind the government's strict sunset curfew. Navigating entirely unstable, crumbling stone ruins in pitch-black darkness, surrounded by wildlife, is incredibly dangerous. Ultimately, Bhangarh stands as a cold monument to mass tragedy and environmental collapse. The ruins don't need ghosts to command respect. The ultimate architect of horror here is simply a fragile human mind,